choose a mate, we have to always make sure that we are equally yoked, body, soul, and spirit. Very important, body, soul, and spirit. Not 2 out of 3, not 1 out of 3, 3 out of 3. You don't get 3 out of 3, trust me, a lot of hard work.
Nothing to do with the parents then?
No.
No, it's you and him.
Absolutely. 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 Equally yoked is the most important part. When you're saying all these things that you have to practice, plays a role. Your religion, your faith, your nationality, all of it plays a role, because you want more things to be the same than less things to be the same. The more you have in common, the better you are going to, your union are going to be blessed. The more you have in common, the better your union going to be growing. You see, the Lord from the beginning told the Israelites to stay within themselves. That's what we spoke about over the Sunday. And not to overlap and marry other tribes. Because every time you are mix other tribes with, or other nationalities, you're going to bring other customs in. You see, what happens is you change up the customs and things eventually become, falls into trouble. The trouble into sin, and sin into death. Let's continue. So Thyatira means continual sacrifice. The word Thyatira, the name Thyatira, this church, means this church, who became the medieval church, which we kind of know as the Catholic Church today, became power hungry and wealth, just like the original Jezebel from the Old Testament. This period of church was teaching that only priests can teach, as I said earlier, and the Bible, no one but the priest, just as the Babylonian priest did. The purpose was to keep people in the dark. Example, selling of indulgence. They were selling indulgence, okay? What is indulgence? So if you know you're going to go to a party, if you know you're going to go somewhere you're going to sin, let's say this weekend you're going to go to the casinos, you're going to gamble, you're going to have all kinds of fun, you're going to do drugs, whatever. You are going to go and you know you are going to sin. You go to church, you pay, you buy an indulgement pass. Basically, you get a hall pass. You pay for it. The church takes your money and says, okay, you're forgiven. The priest will pray for you, and the sins, whatever you're going to go do, it's no worry. Go do what you got to do. You see what's going on here?
We have that here? We have it here?
Yeah. Yes.
Get your mother out of purgatory too.
Yes, and then another thing was exactly it's the purgatory, and then you pay for. So basically, that's what's called a pre-forgiveness payment. You pay for a pre-forgiveness. You pay in advance for the sins you're going to be just about to do. If you have loved ones, your mother, your father, whoever, your loved one died, and according to this particular belief was they're in purgatory. So the sooner you want them to leave purgatory and go to heaven, the more you pay, the more priests will pray for you, and the more suddenly now you're saved. Your loved one will depart from wherever they are, from the purgatory into heaven. So basically a business. They make church to be business. That's what God is saying. The Lord is saying, you made my church into business. This is not what I built my church for. This is not what I have a church for. This is business you are doing. And this is false business. It's worse than anything else. Now you're teaching people that they can go ahead and sin and don't worry about it. You see, the Lord has taught us that sinful nature is a result of death, and it's going to be your forever death. So even like I said earlier, just because you say I'm a Christian, but if you don't practice it, you are not going to be saved. But in order to be saved, you have to be a Christian and practice it. Over here, they're basically teaching them, hey, you're a Christian now? Oh, you got carte blanche. We give everybody carte blanches. How much you got to pay? Give me a check? Yeah, I'll give you a pass. You're good to go. You're saved. So that's how they did many things. And also, another thing was, I hate to say it, you have to pay there's something called extemem. Extemem was, they bought candles. The more candles they bought to light up, the more things that they could write off. So that was called extemem. Another thing was, the Bishop of Rome, the Damasus, who took the title of Pontifex Maximus, as we said last week, from the high priest of Babylonian title. The Pontifex Maximus was the title of the high priest of the Babylon. So the bishop that became now the Damasus, the Bishop Damasus, his name is Damasus, he was the bishop of the church. He took took that title himself, Pontifex Maximus, which basically until today Pontifex Maximus is the name of Pope. Now, another thing, Peter. The word Peter is a Babylonian translator. The priest that translates the Babylonian mystery religion, his name was always Peter. Peter means the translator. And if we go in history and we see the word Peter, the name Peter was given to Pope, translating. See, we go into details. Again, I'm not saying there's just coincidences why these are playing to go. Another thing is, the high priest of Babylon, their coat of arms, their sign was two keys. Two keys. And if you look at Pope's coat of arms today on his robe, it's two keys. Exactly. The same exact two keys. Janus and Siblus. Janus, the name of the keys are also written from the Babylonian religion. It's called Janus and Siblus. Janus, Janis, and Siblus, Sybless. These are the two keys which were, it has more detailed meanings to them. See, basically, the old Babylonian interpreter, which was Peter, he had that on him as a necklace on him. Basically, he said that he was to unlock the deep secrets of the religion. The representation of the keys and the names is how to unlock the secret religion from the vault and to bring it out to people and explain to them. The same two keys, which we just said today, are still worn by the Pope today. The Pope still wears on his coat of arms those same two keys, just so you know. Also, only priests can forgive sins. Only priests can forgive sins, according to this religion, which is also comes to the same thing going back to the Babylonian religion. Only the priest can forgive sins. The Babylonian religion. The Inquisition was all about power and money, but during all that, there were good, very, very good Christians, especially Catholics, who fought against it, and they stood hard. And until today, out of 1.1 billion Catholics, there are many who fall under the wrong doctrine, but there are a lot of them are very strong and believing and faithful Catholics, and they're faithful to the Lord and the Lord's teaching because they read their own Bible. You see, the reason the Bible was forbidden for them to read, so they can interpret it the way they want it to the people. But praise the Lord made sure that some way, somehow, and as we spoke about this before, Armenian Church did things differently. They adapted some of these examples that we heard earlier, but they did a lot of things differently. What? First, they made sure we have a language that we can write the Bible. They made sure everybody can have a Bible and read it. Every Armenian was supposed to have a Bible and read it. And we know throughout the entire history, the Armenians died to save their own Bibles. They died during many kind of persecutions or slaughters or whatever they went to. Instead of taking their money or their wealth, they saved their Bible. So the Bible was a very important part of our history as Armenian Church. Again, Armenian Church also falls under some of these doctrines, which is false doctrines of the teachings, but at the same time, Armenian Church also did many proper things, like I said, they created a whole language, a whole alphabet, so they can write our own Bible, and non-corrupted. That means no other influence can come in. They translate. It took them 33 years to translate it from Greek to Armenian perfectly, and to every single home to have a Bible in their house and to read it. Unfortunately today, many of us don't read it, but the purpose of our language and our Bibles, where our forefathers and the church fathers died, is so all of us can have a Bible and read it. As we see, was the opposite of what the Catholic Church in the Inquisition was doing.